Hello students, this is problem number 28 from chapter 6 H.C. Verma part 1, chapter friction. And in this question we have two blocks of masses capital M and small m as connected and shown in this figure. The three pulleys P1, P2, P3 they all are frictionless pulleys, ideal pulleys. There is friction between the block and the floor and also between the two blocks. This coefficient of friction, which is between the block of mass capital M and small m, this coefficient of friction is denoted by mu1, and the coefficient of friction which is available between the floor and this block is denoted by mu2. So friction is present between the two blocks as well as between the block and the floor. Everything is given in this question. Notice this small m is in contact with the capital M mass and the entire system is released at rest, and then we have to find out what is the acceleration of the block of mass capital M in this situation of the figure. That is the question from the book H.C. Verma part 1, 28, chapter number 6. Okay, right. How to proceed with such kind of problem? That is the biggest point for the students who are presently in class 11. Their problem is they cannot find out the first step for such kind of problem. They are not aware of the sequence of steps, the sequence of equations. So today I will tell you how to proceed or how to deal such kind of questions in a simple way. The number one question, if you are dealing with any problem of Newton law of motion, then the first and the very essential thing, the first and the very essential and important step is that you must recognize all the forces which are acting on the objects. And in order to recognize all forces which are acting on any specific object under consideration, you should follow, or you should always have a checklist of the forces in which you can check if you have considered all the forces in the free body diagram or not. So here is the list of, always carry this checklist with you. Okay, keep this checklist of the forces with you, and whenever you are drawing the free body diagram of any object, just check this list if you have completed or if you have considered all the forces on the object, because many times it happens that you draw the free body diagrams and some forces are missed out in that free body diagram, and finally you end up with the wrong answer. So before proceeding, always check the list of these forces and verify if you have considered all the possible forces in your free body diagram. Then only move to the next step. And in this checklist of forces, you will mainly encounter following forces, which is gravity force, normal reaction force, tension force in the string, spring force, friction force, any external push or pull by some person as given in this problem, any problem. And then finally, it is a pseudo force, which is the most important part. And that pseudo force is your choice of reference. So pseudo force will be only when you are working in the non-inertial frame. Otherwise, do not consider the pseudo force. What should be the direction of the forces, how the forces are drawn in the free body diagram, that you can read from here, the direction part. So keep this checklist with you. Whenever you draw the free body diagram, match your free body diagram, check the forces in the free body diagram in this list, that all the forces are considered, and then move to the next step, right? Okay, so after this checklist of the forces, I am going to draw the free body diagram of each body. So that is my next step. First of all, I will consider the forces on the block of mass capital M. So forces on the block of mass capital M, these are the forces, the force of gravity, normal reaction force, tension. Okay, so force of gravity will be denoted by capital Mg. In this diagram, it is downward direction, capital Mg. Normal reaction force by the floor. This is in accordance with the checklist. First, I will consider the gravity, done. Now I will move to the normal reaction force, and it acts always perpendicular to the contact surfaces. So this block A is in contact with the floor, also in contact with this block. So it is in contact with the two surfaces. One is the floor and one is this little block. There must be two normal reaction forces, one by this floor and other by the block of mass M. Then in that checklist, we have third number for the tension in the string, and then I will draw the tension forces in the lower horizontal string, and then this one. So this is the tension force in this string. This tension force I am talking about, which is in the lower portion of the block and connected to the pulley P3. So a tension force, and the direction of tension force you can always consider as always away from the object. So tension force, you always draw it away from the object. It will help you. So that's why tension force is towards the right side. Notice that the pulley P1, this pulley P1 is attached to the mass of capital M. So this pulley P1 will be considered as the part of this mass M. So while drawing the free body diagram of this mass M, do not forget to consider the forces acting on this pulley P1 as it is part of that mass M. It is not separate body. So consider this pulley as a part of mass M and use this fact that the tension force acts away from the object. So the tension force acting on this pulley will be this capital T on the right side direction and capital T in the downward direction. These two tension forces will be present on this pulley, acting away from this pulley by these two portions of the springs. So that is the tension force. So these two tension forces we will consider in the free body diagram as per the checklist. Now the next point is spring force. Do we have any spring in this question? Answer is no. In this question we don't have any spring. So move to the next point, friction, right? Do we have friction in this question? Yes, we have friction. So we have friction at the friction between the block and floor and also between these two blocks. So accordingly, I have drawn two friction forces. This FF, that is the friction by floor, and this FB, that is the friction by block. These two friction forces will act on this bigger mass because it is in contact with the two rough surfaces. So therefore, it must be acted upon by two friction forces. Then to the next frame, do we need to consider, is there any push or pull by the external force by some person as given in this problem? Answer is no. There is no external push or pull on this figure, on this object. Moving to the next part, pseudo force. Is there any pseudo force? Do we need to consider the pseudo force? Answer is no, because we are not working in the non-inertial frame. Motion of this bigger block is considered related to the ground frame. That means we are considering our observer on the ground frame. So we don't need to consider any pseudo force for this mass capital M. So if you make the free body diagram looking at this checklist and move one by one, that means first you consider the gravity force, then draw all normal reaction forces from all contacts, then draw all tension forces, then draw a spring force, then draw friction force, then draw any push or pull by the person, and then pseudo force. So if you do it in a sequential way, trust me, you will never do any kind of mistake. Your free body diagram will be absolutely perfect. And once free body diagram is absolutely perfect, the question is almost done. So now we have completed the free body diagram, and then we can draw all these forces at a single point also. That's this considering all forces at a single point is called as free body diagram, because in the Newton law, the object is always considered to be a particle. And that is the reason why we consider all forces at a single point. That means we are modeling this object as a particle. Since we are studying Newton law of motion for a single particle, but this is a cubical shape object. But while applying Newton law, you have to consider that all the forces are acting at a single point because the object is considered to be a particle. And that is the reason why all forces which we have considered on the mass of capital M, they are collectively shown at a single point, and this figure is known as a free body diagram of the object. And finally, we have to write the second law, equation for the second law, which says that sum of all forces should be equal to the mass into acceleration. And remember, the acceleration and force, they must be parallel to each other. So while writing this equation, keep it in mind that the forces which are appearing on the left side of the equation and the force and this acceleration, they must be a parallel vector. They all must be parallel to each other. All forces which are in the direction of acceleration, they are positive forces, and all forces which are against the direction of acceleration, they are negative forces. So using this fact, now I'm going to write the equation from this sigma f equals to m into a. If I observe that, it is very obvious that the motion of capital M is towards the right side. For this observer who is standing on the floor, which is the inertial observer, it is very obvious that the capital M mass will move. Direction of motion should be on the right side direction, and let us assume this acceleration to be small a. I assume the acceleration to be small a. And now I will write the equation based on this free body diagram and in accordance with Newton's second law. So for the horizontal direction, for the horizontal dimension, okay, what is happening in the horizontal dimension? So in this horizontal dimension, the body is accelerating with acceleration of small a, and it has a mass of capital M. Well, so I will write capital M times A equal to, and now I have to consider, I have to look for the forces which are parallel to the acceleration vector, that is, which are parallel to the horizontal direction. So in this free body diagram, the forces which are parallel to this direction of acceleration are this T and T, which means 2T, and this normal reaction force NB is opposite to the direction of acceleration, and this friction by the floor is also opposite to the direction of acceleration. So all forces which are parallel to the A, parallel to the direction of A, are T, T, NB, and FF. But this T and T, which means 2T, is in the direction of A. Normal by the block is opposite. Friction by the floor is opposite. So forces which are in the direction of A are positive, and the opposite forces are negative, and therefore the equation should be 2T minus NB minus friction by the floor equals to Ma. This is my first equation, right? And for the vertical dimension, if I write the equation for the vertical dimension, then I can write that vertically we have force Nf. Notice that there is no vertical acceleration. There is no acceleration in the upward direction. There is no acceleration in the downward direction, and therefore the vertical forces must be balanced. In the absence of any vertical acceleration, you can balance all the vertical forces. So vertically upward, we have normal by the floor, and this, it is balanced by all vertically downward acting forces, which are capital T plus friction between the blocks and plus capital Mg. So this is my second equation. Further, these two are the equations for two dimensions related to the mass capital M. For the horizontal dimension, where it is accelerating, on the right side we have mass into acceleration, and in the vertical direction, since it is not accelerating, so we have balanced all the forces in the vertical direction for the mass capital M. So okay, so we are done with mass capital M. Now the next is that is small m mass, right? Okay, this is small m mass. The same process we have to follow, that we have to uh, draw all the forces in accordance with our checklist, just to confirm that we have considered all the forces and no forces missed by us. So in accordance with the checklist, the forces which are acting on this mass are the weight force of gravity mg, this normal reaction by the block nb, normal by the block, this tension force by the string. This is going in sequence with the checklist. First gravity, then normal, then tension. No spring and friction will be considered. There is no external push or pull on the block. So now next is the friction force, and finally we have pseudo force if required. So these are the forces. Force by gravity is considered, normal reaction by the block is considered, tension force in the string is considered, force of friction by the block is Fb is considered. Sorry, I missed this Fb in this diagram. So Fb is in the upward direction. This is the direction of Fb. I missed in this diagram. That is the direction of friction by the block. Now, one more force is required, that is the fifth force, and that is pseudo force. And why pseudo force is required? Why this pseudo force is required? And that is a very unique concept, that this small m mass is being carried, mass m is being carried by the capital M mass. It is being carried by the capital M mass. Since it is in contact with the capital M mass, this small m is being carried, which means if mass m will move forward, then that small m mass will also move forward. So capital M mass is the carrier of small m, and whenever you find any mass to be carried by some other mass, if you find some mass is being carried by some other mass, then the carrier should be the frame of reference for the ease of, for the simplicity of equations. It is always beneficial to take the carrier as the reference frame, and the object which is being carried should always be observed in the frame of carrier. It makes the equations very simple. Observations are very simple, and you can simply write down the equations. Though it is not compulsory to take the carrier as a reference frame, but taking the carrier as reference frame is beneficial for you. So I have taken an observer. So I have considered the observer on the mass capital M. Okay, this is my observer, this face. This little face is the observer, which means I am considering the motion of a small m mass relative to some observer who is on the mass of capital M. Now, since this observer is sitting on mass capital M and that capital M mass is accelerating rightward. Notice this capital M mass is accelerating to the right side with acceleration of small a. So we are considering motion of small m in the non-inertial frame, and then according to our checklist, if you are working in the non-inertial frame, you must consider a pseudo force opposite to the direction of acceleration of non-inertial frame. So this we have considered ma as the pseudo force. This ma we have considered as a pseudo force on this free body diagram. Now our free body diagram is complete. Now what will we observe if sitting on the mass capital M? In which direction you will find the motion of small m body? Will it move rightward? Will it move leftward? Will it move upward, or will it move downward? If you are observing by someone who is on the mass capital M. So if someone who is on the mass capital M, there are only two possibilities. Either small m mass will fall down or it will rise down. So this person will never find that mass m is moving to the right side, as the person itself is moving to the right side, and relative to this person, the mass is at rest in the horizontal dimension. But yes, it is making a motion in the y direction in which the mass m is falling down. Relative to this observer, this mass is falling down with some acceleration, which I have considered AR, R for relative. Assume this relative acceleration to be AR. Relative to this person, this little mass is falling down with acceleration AR. Notice for this observer, there is no horizontal acceleration for this mass of small m. So now I will write down the equation in the frame of capital M. So now write down the equation Newton's second law in frame of capital M. So since we have considered non-inertial frame, but by considering pseudo force, we are now eligible to write the Newton law. And if I write the Newton law in the horizontal dimension, for the horizontal dimension, we don't have any acceleration relative to that observer. So therefore, this normal reaction force and this pseudo force must be balanced. So I will write n equal to ma at they are balanced. Okay, there is no relative acceleration in this direction, and therefore the horizontal forces are balanced. So let me call it third equation, because equation 1 and 2 we have already considered for the previous block. For the vertical dimension, it is moving downward with the acceleration AR. So we should have m into a on the right side. So this is the mass m and the relative acceleration AR in the downward direction. And now we have to find forces parallel to this acceleration. So parallel to this vertical acceleration, you have three forces in which mg is in the direction of acceleration. So it should be taken as positive force. And this friction by block and tension force, they are opposite to the relative acceleration. So they will be considered as negative forces. So mg minus tension minus the friction between the blocks. That is the fourth equation. Okay, we are done with the equations now. Next point. Whenever you find any object to be carried by some other object, then the object which is carried by and the object which carries that object, that means the carrier and the object which is being carried, if they are connected by a string, remember, if object, that is the key point which can help you for other numericals object, for other numericals also. If object being carried by other object, and if they are connected by some string, there must be a relation between their accelerations. There must be a relation between acceleration of carrier and the relative acceleration of object being carried. A relative acceleration of object being carried. These are some key points which will always help you in numericals. So in this question, capital M mass is the carrier. Is that this capital M mass is our carrier object? It is carrier, it is the bigger object, it is moving on the ground, and that small m mass is being carried. So the relative acceleration of a small m mass and the absolute acceleration of the carrier will be compared now. And how it is compared is as, if I think that the carrier moves forward, let us assume that the bigger mass move forward by the distance of small x. I assume that the bigger mass travels forward by the distance small x, and that carrier object falls down by the distance of y. When the bigger object moves forward, this little mass falls downward with acceleration, with some displacement of y. The key point for the relation between x and y is that when this mass capital M will move forward, with this bigger mass will move forward, it will move from this place to this place by a distance of a small x. The pulley P1 which is attached to this block, the pulley P1 attached to this block will move closer to the pulley P2, since pulley P1 is attached to the mass capital M. So if this mass capital M moves forward, it's very obvious that the pulley P1 will move closer to the pulley P2, and the segment of string which is in between the pulley P1 and P2 will reduce by this distance of small x. Similarly, this point A will move forward. At this point, A is attached to the block. This point A is attached to the bigger block. So if the bigger block is moving forward, if this bigger block is moving forward, this point A will come closer to this pulley P3, and the horizontal portion between the point A and pulley P3 will also reduce by same distance of small x. So this upper horizontal string will reduce, this lower horizontal string will reduce. So the total reduction in these two horizontal portions of the string will be 2x, and that has to be compensated by the vertical motion of the block M, as the total length of string should always remain constant. So if some segment of string is reducing, some other segment must be increasing to compensate that reduction. We are dealing with inextensible ideal strings, and the total length of string has to be constant. So the horizontal string between P1, P2 and the horizontal string between point A and P3, these two horizontal strings are reducing. So total reduction in the horizontal portion is 2x, and therefore total increment in this vertical portion should be 2x, and that means the relation y should be equal to 2x. Now I will differentiate it, which means double derivative of y with respect to t should be equal to double derivative of x with respect to t, and the derivative of y is actually relative acceleration, because the vertical motion of small m is its relative motion with respect to the carrier, and that relative acceleration should be equal to twice of a, and that is my fifth equation, and sometimes we call it constraint equation. So not only for this question, for any other question, just remember this point. If you find any object is being carried by some other object, and the object being carried is connected to the carrier by some string, some sort of a string and a pulley arrangement, just remember the problem cannot be solved until you are not done with, you are not writing the constraint equations. You can never solve this question. Next. So now we are done. We have completed these 5 equations. So finally we have, I am collecting all the equations at one place. So final set of equations to get the answer is the first 4 equations from the NLM Newton law equation. Fifth equation, the 7th equation is basically constraint equation. And the 2 equations are basically according to the law of friction forces. We say that friction is mu times the normal reaction force, and these are kinetic friction forces. There is a relative motion is taking place. So the friction forces can be replaced by coefficient of friction multiplied by the appropriate normal reaction forces. So these are the 7 equations, and I wish you good luck to solve all the 7 equations to get the answer. That is a big challenge for you. So my best wishes are with you. You know, first time you are going to solve 7 equations just to find out a single variable, and remember you have to find out acceleration of the mass capital M. So once again, best of luck to you. Solve these 7 equations and find the value of A, and check the book for the answer part. Thank you and take care. Bye bye.